Welcome back everyone, I'm Robbie.
And I'm Liam.
And it's time finally for our 2018 year in review videos. We are a little bit late getting around to this one, but purely because we were just waiting for a couple of the 2018 releases to come out in Australia in 2019. There are still a few that haven't come yet, but we're waiting too long for those ones. Starting from this year as well, because we normally go by Australian releases, from this year we're going to original release dates. Purely just to make it more generic for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Easier to follow.
So we're starting off with our worst films of the year, the crap, the bottom of the bottom.
So much bad stuff this year.
Yeah.
Hit it!
This year, in comparison to 2017, was just a bit trash in a lot of ways. Because 2017 was a fantastic year, but 2018 just kind of...
But when it hit well.
Yeah, it hit very well. Yeah, we've discussed that.
Yeah.
But
and we'll be discussing that more in the next video, definitely.
But right now, we're talking about the lows, worst of the worst. And we're going to start off with our most disappointing flicks, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Alright.
These necessarily won't be the worst films we've ever seen. Actually, some of these films that I've got in particular are actually fine or they're good. But they're films that we were most looking forward to.
That would let us down the most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So going from the least disappointing to most disappointing.
Yeah, the least disappointing film that I was still pretty disappointed about was Black Panther. This came out at the very beginning of 2018.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I didn't have any expectation for Marvel in 2018. I wasn't a fan of Marvel films until 2018 when I saw Avengers Infinity War. Mm-hmm. But when I saw Black Panther, everyone was giving it praise. It was basically the best thing that anyone had ever seen. And so I was like, oh, okay. Wow, I've actually got some decent excitement for it. And when I watched it, it just ended up being a bit generic. In all honesty, I was just a bit let down by it. My next most disappointing film would be... Oh! A Quiet Place. I wrote Shush. But it's A Quiet Place. This is a film that I've watched twice. The first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's good. I don't think it's as good as everyone's saying it is. To me, it's a bit generic, it's a bit bland. But on second viewing, I honestly didn't like it that much at all. It was a film where I was constantly questioning the logic, and it kind of just completely took me out of it. The next one is Unsane, the film that was done entirely by phone.
I never saw that one. Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, Steven Soderbergh. It was fine. It was a letdown because I was expecting so much more from it. It turned from a psychological thriller to a completely different story, and I didn't like it when it changed direction like that. The next is probably the best film out of the disappointing films, in my opinion, A Star Is Born. A Star Is Born was...
Really?
Yeah, it was another film that... I really like it, but I was really hoping to love it. And if it took a few different steps, it could have been absolutely fantastic. Great directorial debut, but it's just a shame that it couldn't have been that one step further to greatness. Mm-hmm. And my number one most disappointing film of the year, the film that I was really looking forward to, it was probably like top 5 most anticipated for me, and just walked out the most upset, was Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
Right, I didn't see that one either.
I'm a huge fan of Taylor Sheridan. I think he's one of the most underrated writers working today. He did the first Sicario, he did Hell or High Water, and then he did Wind River, which he also directed. So naturally, I was looking forward to this because it was another one of his scripts. And I was really, really keen to see another great drama, another one that felt so grounded in reality, could have been real life. But there were so many holes in this film that it didn't feel like it was a Taylor Sheridan script.
Right.
And that was such a shame to me. It ended up being okay. I don't hate the film. I'm just a bit, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
What are your most disappointing
my
films?
most disappointing one, my first one was a film that, when I first heard about it, I was like, yeah. And I saw the trailer. I thought the trailer was really funny. That's Happy Time Murders. And then the movie was terrible. It was completely unfunny.
I didn't waste my time with that one.
I was hopeful for because I was like, it was Brian Henson coming back and everything. Who
Yeah.
did Muppet Christmas Carol and so many great Muppet movies, and yeah, nah, it was bad. My next one is The Girl in the Spider's Web. I thought that the David Fincher one was brilliant. I absolutely loved it, and this one just failed in nearly all departments. It was such a letdown. Claire Foy is a great actress.
Absolutely.
But it just bugged me too that it was technically a sequel, but it's completely recast. Doesn't even acknowledge the previous movie.
New director, new writer.
Everything is
Strange.
new, and yeah. Next one is Solo: A Star Wars Story. Yeah, I even prefer the prequels to this one.
Ooh.
At least the prequels had energy, they had fun. This one I just found was boring and bland. I was skeptical from the beginning having someone else playing Han Solo than Harrison Ford, but I thought even if Solo himself is hopefully the movie around will be fun because it's Star Wars. You've got Chewie there, Ron Howard, even though the champ directors, Ron Howard reshot most of it, and I love Ron Howard's films. Paul Bettany's in there as a villain. You got the Millennium Falcon back. You got Lando. Donald Glover was so perfectly cast as Lando. He did such a great job, but the movie was just flat. It didn't do anything, and I just walked out going, that was completely unmemorable. Next one was Ant-Man and the Wasp. Never thought I'd have a Marvel movie on my list, especially the MCU. But yeah, that one's on there as well.
That movie sucked.
The first Ant-Man was fun. It was fresh. It was creative, and it just did something new. And this one went against everything the first one set up, and it was just, again, it's not a horribly bad movie. Same as Solo. It was just completely unmemorable, and compared to the quality that we're used to from Marvel these days, it was just a real step backwards.
Absolutely.
And my final one is the film for my second favorite superhero character of all time. You know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Venom. Yeah. Again, I can't say it's one of the worst films I've ever seen, but it really missed the mark for me. Tom Hardy was fantastically cast as Eddie Brock. He committed to it, but he was just stuck.
No, you could tell he was trying.
He was really trying, but he was just stuck in a movie that just wasn't going anywhere. I think it was a bad call not having it connected to Spider-Man somehow, because for me that's the best part of Venom, is having interaction between Venom and Spidey.
In early talks, it was rumoured that Tom Holland was going to have a cameo as Peter Parker.
Which he doesn't. And it's just... I got no problem with Venom being like the anti-hero, but he becomes too much of a good guy in this, and I was like, no. This is saying something. I honestly prefer the Topher Grace version of Venom than we got this. At least we got Venom with Spider-Man, and he felt like a villain at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my number one most disappointing film. Alright, so let's jump into our actual worst films of the year.
Yep.
So, as we say with a lot of our top 10 lists, this is our personal preferences. Doesn't mean we are saying these are the factual best and worst of the year.
No, I'm saying it's factual.
Well, he is, I'm not. These are just the films that just didn't hit us personally. They might be well-made films, but we just didn't like them in some cases, and others are just bad. Here we go, the worst. You seem to really be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about some shit.
So what are your 5 runner-ups?
My 5 runner-ups are How It Ends, Race 3, The Christmas Story, whatever it was, the one with Kurt Russell.
Christmas Chronicles?
Chronicles, that's what it was. Pacific Rim Uprising and Den of Thieves. They were all such shit. I didn't like Den of Thieves. Den of Thieves was probably the best made one, but it was just so boring and funny. It was funny though.
Okay.
But those are my runner-ups. What are yours?
My runner-ups are Spy Dumped Me. That was just... I don't know what the movie was.
Oh, my God. Jesus. What happened? Remember hearing that? That was funny. It's so funny.
We work at the cinema and we had that on replay in the foyer over and over and over again.
I swear, that played more often than anything else.
Oh, God, I couldn't get away from it. One that was in my most disappointing list, The Girl in the Spider's Web.
Mm-hmm.
God, for it to make a worse movie, Skyscraper, pretty much a rip-off of Die Hard. It was so amateurish and just stupid. The Nun. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
The Nun was literally the 5 minutes you have The Nun and The Conjuring 2 was a million times better than the actual film on The Nun. How does that work? And The Christmas Chronicles.
Ah, there you
Kurt
go.
Russell, there you go, yeah. I don't know what he was thinking with that one. It was Goldie Hawn coming
We've got
in
to
as
have money.
like he spends half his time in jail. I'm like, what is this? Not a Christmas movie? Yeah, so there are runner-ups.
Yep.
Alright, into top 10s.
Alrighty. My number 10 is a film that you really like.
God,
Ocean's 8.
oh, okay. I thought, so there's more.
Oh yeah. Ocean's 8 was one of the most generic, boring, unstylized, sloppy heist films I've ever seen.
In 3.5 weeks, the Met will be hosting its annual ball, and we are going to rob it.
By the end, I just didn't care. I didn't care about any of the characters. Sandra Bullock was just a complete bitch in that. Like, I just didn't care about anything that was going on at all. I didn't like it.
It's your opinion?
It's correct. It's factual. Poorly made film.
$16.5 million in each of your bank accounts 5 weeks from now. That's a lot.
My number 10 is Blockers.
Ooh.
Yeah. The bits, like I said in our review, the bits with Leslie Mann and the adults were fine.
We gonna light it up like it's prime night.
There was some comedy in there that I didn't mind. But as soon as it went to the teenagers, this film just tanked. My God, it was just unbearable to sit through. It was just the same stupid, sex, drugged up comedy we've had a million times, just done really, really badly and just completely uninspired. One of the main girls just really pissed me off. The jokes was so forced. Thank God when it flicked back to Leslie Mann, often enough for it to not make it an absolutely unbearable experience, but it was bad enough to make my top 10.
Okay, I won't watch it. I wasn't gonna watch it anyway, but
It relies on vomit jokes that go for way too long. And
that's
it's like,
funny. No, that's funny stuff though.
Just going through the laundry, found these new thongs.
You know I love it when the music's loud, but come on, strip that down for me.
Tonight, I'm tearing these out with my teeth like an old school cartoon billy goat.
Honey, Mitch, those are your daughters.
My number 9 is one of the worst horror films of 2018, Winchester, starring
I
Helen
skipped that one.
Yeah, man. I wasn't going to see this film, but my sister wanted to go to the movies, so I was like, alright, I'll go see something. So we ended up seeing this, and man, it was just so boring.
Do you believe in ghosts, Dr. Price?
I do not believe in anything I cannot see or study.
God damn, and they kept using the same footage over and over.
Oh, really?
They were establishing shots of the building outside, and they just kept reusing it
God.
outside. They didn't flip it or anything, it was the same stuff. Jason Clarke, one of my favourite actors personally, he
great.
was bad. Helen Mirren was bad. It was just...
How do you make Helen Mirren?
Yeah, I
bad
don't
actors?
know, hey. It was just poorly directed, poorly written, just a boring, bland film. Do not recommend it.
Alright, yeah, well.
Your anger will never defeat us.
My number 9 is one of the ones that I can see why people put in their top 10s or why they would really like it. It is a very well made movie. It just...
Don't dare.
Suspiria.
Oh, okay.
We
okay.
had... We
I didn't-
think I say Hereditary.
Yeah, I did.
No, I much prefer Hereditary.
I haven't seen Suspiria. I'm planning on seeing it before the end of this month.
I think you'll like. I think it's your kind of movie. I just found it a miserable experience to sit through. Which is why at the beginning I highlighted the fact this is our personal top 10s.
Yeah.
This is one that I think is actually, I don't think is a bad movie. I just really hated the experience. It was absolute torture to sit through for me from the get-go. I was like, oh God, and it goes for 2.5 hours. And I was sitting with a couple of friends and they kept looking at me saying, oh, he's really not having a good time. And yeah, I really wasn't.
Well, that's the way it is for some films. And some films are just objectively bad, and some films are subjectively bad.
Yeah.
Like you either enjoy it because it's well made, or you enjoy it because it's just got your feel. And if it doesn't have your feel, then that's fine.
Definitely.
She can see me.
My number 8 is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
You didn't hear.
He should. This movie is easily the worst Harry Potter film. I was so unbelievably frustrated with how boring it was. I didn't like any of the performances except Eddie Redmayne. He is a godsend, and every scene that he was in, he lifted a little bit.
You don't suffer from motion sickness, do you?
I don't do well on boats.
You'll be fine.
But it just wasn't enough, honestly. Putting my personal thing with Johnny Depp aside, I didn't like his performance. I didn't like anyone in the film. I didn't like the direction. It felt bland. David Yates is a fine director. Like, he's fine. And he's sort of started to put more of his style into the Harry Potter films. But this one just felt so generic to me. And I didn't care about what was going on. I didn't care about the cliffhanger that it ended on. I don't have any interest in seeing the next film. Yeah, just not a good time. Not a good time.
You never met a monster you couldn't love.
Let's take him.
What's your number?
My number 8 is another one that was in my disappointing list of the year, The Happy Time Murders.
Mm-hmm.
What a train wreck. Brian Henson should be ashamed of what he's done with his father's legacy. Because, oh my god, this movie was appallingly, obnoxiously, just disrespectful to Jim Henson's name.
I'll have your badge for this. I'm in the fucking FBI.
Oh yeah, what's that stand for? Fucking big idiot?
I never saw Happy Time Murders, but you know what the trailer reminded me of? Just a Sausage Party. It had the same sort of style of taking something
It's very much like this.
and then just making it completely crude and stupid.
I didn't like Sausage Party either, and this does follow the same. Yeah. Thank God Melissa McCarthy's in it. She unfortunately has been picking a lot of bad films, but I've always stuck by my thing of her. I think she's a good actress. I think she needs to fire her agent or something. I don't know what is happening, but she has proven in the past that she is a terrific actress, and she was good here. She was just stuck with a horrible script. The puppet work is good. Like, yeah, it's well made, the puppet work.
It looks like what was seen in the recent Muppet films when that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that kind of puppetry.
Yeah, the puppetry is fantastic. It's really, really well done. It's just the script and the directing is just absolutely crap.
That's a real shame.
Yeah.
That's a real shame.
That's pure ecstasy.
I'm not doing this.
Do it. Oh, sorry about your dead human friend, Phillips.
That is good shit.
Well, fuck me.
Maybe.
My number 7 is probably the only film on my list that I personally think is actually fairly well made. And it's the one that I subjectively didn't enjoy.
Okay.
I really hated Red Sparrow. Red Sparrow was a film that I watched and I was just absolutely dumbfounded by. I was shocked at how low Jennifer Lawrence would put herself. The standards of the script felt very sexist and demeaning. I didn't enjoy much about it.
There could be no witnesses. So they gave me a choice. Die or become a sparrow.
I think it's competently shot. I like the lighting of the film. The lighting was great.
It's beautifully lit, yeah.
But it just felt like a film that shouldn't have been made in this time and place, because like it didn't feel like it had anything to say, and that really upset me. Once again, it's a film that's probably not as bad as I think it is, but it's a film that I got literally nothing out of, and it just made me more upset than anything.
You belong to them. They'll never let you go.
I'll find a way.
My number 7 is a film that really should have been fun because I love the character. That's Robin Hood. What an absolute mess.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these films on your list.
I don't know what happened with this one. Like, the style, like a third medieval, a third modern, a third futuristic, like with the costumes. Like, what am I watching? I was like, it's literally like a Lady Gaga concert met like the Knights of the Round Table.
I didn't see the film, and I've been meaning to. I'm not going to, but I've been meaning to ask this because I saw King Arthur: Legend of the Sword, and it looks very much like that.
Yeah, you can kind of make the comparison. Legend of the Sword was way better. This one just didn't know what I wanted to be. Taron Egerton, I think, is a good actor, but I think he was
So underrated.
I think he was very miscast in this.
Really inspiring. Thanks.
Jamie Foxx was bland. Eve Hewson's accent changes like 7 times during the film. The only saving grace, the only reason this isn't lower is because of the great Ben Mendelsohn. He is a terrific villain and he was good in his scenes.
I'll remind them they're not the people, they're my subjects.
He's the kind of actor that just raises everyone's performance, you know?
But I mean, even the action didn't save this film because the handheld camera and constant quick cutting, you couldn't see what was going on. It's badly lit. It's just, you can't see anything. It's not even guilty pleasure fun. It's just, because there's no fun in it. It's just uninteresting to sit through.
That's a dang shame.
Yeah.
That's a dang shame.
What else you got?
Number 6. I'm bracing myself. I'm sure. I know it's coming soon.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom sucks. I hate it. That's the end. Watch our review. Next one.
That was short and sweet.
Our reviews were like 30 to 40 minutes for both of them, but we talked like over 2 hours. I'm done with this film, okay? If you want to hear my thoughts and you want to hear Robbie's thoughts, then just watch that.
This is probably the film that we disagree on the most this year.
Yeah.
Very much disagree on the most. My number 6 is actually a bad film.
Oh, really? Is it?
It's the one that is been getting a lot of attention for the amount of walkouts it's been getting recently, and that's the latest collaboration between Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Ah!
Holmes and Watson. I was gonna do a review for this one because I only just saw it, but I was like, screw it, I'm gonna be doing this video anyway. I'll give you my thoughts on the film now very briefly. The movie sucks. 1 star. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly have no chemistry at all. Ray Fiennes.
How does that work? They were awesome in Step Brothers.
Right from the get-go, the opening seems like something is off. And the joke they have in the opening was like, wow, we are stooping to that level of comedy.
Dr. Grace Hart.
A woman doctor? Impossible. Fortunately, we have a real doctor here. Would you like some heroin?
Ray Fiennes is the most wasted actor I've seen in the 21st century. He literally stands there. Has no lines. He stands there for the entire time. Oh no, I'm mistaken. He has 2 lines. I completely forgot about that. Are completely inconsequential. That's all he does.
He's Moriarty, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the perfect Moriarty. How do you waste that? It's Ray Fiennes.
Not only did they waste that in this film, but they wasted it in a comedy as well. Like, he could actually be a seriously good Moriarty.
You got Steve Coogan, Hugh Laurie, Rob Brydon, Rebecca Hall. All of them suck in this movie.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
The comedy that I thought was kind of funny in the trailer, completely unfunny in the film. It's really, really bad. This is like an all-time low for comedy. Seriously, wow.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh god, brace yourself.
I will take it. You see, it's sort of a self-photograph.
He's a real fan.
I swear, I never do this.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
My number 5 is the Netflix original film, The Kissing Booth.
Ah, I skipped that one. I watched the trailer, I was like, nah, I'm good.
This film was hilarious. Never once was it funny in, like, intentional comedy. It was funny in all the wrong ways, and I honestly got a kick out of it. But when you get down to it, it's horribly written, so bland to look at. Joey King, why is Joey King a thing? They're trying to make her, like, an actress, and she's getting a decent amount of work, but she's been in shit after shit after shit. And guess what? She's not good.
Oh, is that the wrong color?
And let me just say, this is not the only Joey King film that I have in my bottom 10 for the year.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, like, great comedy, but because it was not funny.
We're gonna be late for school.
9th grade pants and 11th grade body. Perfect.
Number 5 is the latest Australian comedy, directed by the director of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which
I've actually seen this.
which was fine. I like Priscilla. I didn't mind a few best men. I thought it had its moments. But, oh boy, Swing Safari, man. He swung and he did not hit at all.
Dude, but it references Jaws, therefore you have to love it.
That's the only reason I give it like 1 star instead of half a star.
Oof.
Dad!
Oh, g'day, Mr. Marsh.
It's just like Australian movies. What the hell is happening? Like we have a lot of good ones, but there are just as many bad ones that I can think of. Like,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I can think of more bad Australian movies than good ones. I'm like, come on, pick up your game, seriously.
We have talent here, come on.
I don't get why these bad movies are coming
And
out.
the stereotype is just so overplayed.
I'm done with it. I'm so sick of it. I'm really sick of it.
G'day, mate. Shrimp on the barbie.
And I'm like, Guy Pearce, Ryder Mitchell, and Joe McMahon are 3 superb Australian actors. And again, they suck in this. The comedy is so bad. This is one of the worst, most uncomfortable comedies I've sat through in a long, long, long time.
You're all going to Catholic boarding schools. The priests will have their way with you.
Number 4.
Number
4. Joey King in Slender Man.
Yeah,
Slender Man.
that's it. I knew it.
Slender Man.
That seems funny.
I was so excited for this film because it just looked so horrendous. Why was this film made?
Slender Man. He preys on innocent youth.
What was that?
By the time this came out, the Slender Man craze was already dead for 6 years. So it's all, like it makes sense to like release that around 2012, 2013, because that's when the game was popular and everything. That's when people were really into the creepypasta. But man, they just decided to release it in 2018, and it was already long dead. Whilst it had like 2 incredibly hilarious moments that I just completely burst out in laughter for, it was just one of the worst films of the year. It was so bad. But I actually kind of hold this in a special place in my heart because I saw it for my birthday. Got a group of my friends and we took the majority of the theatre and we were cringing together and we were laughing together. So it was a great time. Joey King sucks though.
So normally each year, I give out maybe 1, 2 maximum half-star ratings. I've given out 4 this year. Like, oh my god, I know you're giving out more than me.
I've given out 7. Well,
yeah, wow.
Oops.
4 is a lot for me.
Yeah.
And we're into the 4. We're into half-star ratings now. Again, this is the one that we're going to review and we end up not watching. And I watched it for the first time last week. I knew we were going to do this list. I'm going to do it just to put it on there. It's the conclusion to 50 Shades of Crap. Finale. Did it end? I don't know because nothing happened in this movie.
Robbie, don't miss the climax.
God. Again, Dakota Johnson is a good actress and she's doing these.
So you want to play?
Yes, sir.
Literally, it's Breaking Dawn Part 1 of Twilight without the werewolves and vampires, which leaves you with just nothing.
Oh, it's all Twilight fan fiction anyway.
Oh, yeah, it is. The entire film is literally just them going about their lives. And I mean going about their lives. They read newspapers, they have breakfast, they have a shower, they go to work.
See, that can be done well. That can be done well.
They have lots and lots of sex.
Ooh, nice.
And there's this ice cream scene. Like, made me hate ice cream for like a week. there's this kidnapping in the last 15 minutes. I'm like, well, cool. I don't care because who cares anymore after an hour and a half? And it just ends. It just ends. They're just there talking, and then the film ends. I'm like, okay, the big finale, and. You know, they try to make it that Dakota Johnson's character, Anastasia Steele, is sympathetic. I could not feel less sorry for her. She knows exactly who she's marrying. And there's this big plot line where she's upset that her husband doesn't want to have a kid. I'm like, you maybe want to have discussed this before you married the guy?
Yeah. It's almost as if you need to have chemistry with the person you're with. It's just strange.
The only silver lining of this movie is that I can look forward to a future that is free of 50 Shades. It is done. Over. Please, no prequels, no spin-offs, just let it die.
Please stop speaking to my husband as if I weren't here.
Anna.
You may call me Mrs. Gray.
Number 3. Robbie, did you see Father of the Year?
No.
Oh, God, don't. This is a film that's an hour and a half of David Spade doing his best Adam Sandler impression. And it was a straight-to-Netflix film, and I watched it and I wanted to die.
Hey, Dad.
Get in here, you pussies.
I didn't bring a bathing suit.
Problem solved. What are you doing?
It's so cringe. It's not funny. It's so horribly shot. The sound effects are god-awful. It has this really, really bad virtual reality scene that just clearly no one understood how VR actually works. And it was so dumb. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand any of the characters. It was just, haha, look funny. And I hate the fact that just by watching it on Netflix, I have supported this piece of shit. But what's done is done. It's not even so bad it's good. Just stay away from this one, honestly. I felt like I was growing a brain tumor.
This is our VR meeting space.
Oh, fuck! I'm a kangaroo!
That's not real.
Everybody down! We got a pelican!
What's your number 3?
My number 3 was my worst film of the year, and I thought it was going to be my worst film of the year, but it is not. It is A Wrinkle in Time.
Dang, I was wrong.
Yeah, you thought it was number 2 even.
I sure did.
No, it's number 3. There is worse than Wrinkle in Time this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Wrinkle in Time it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's arguably the worst thing Disney has ever done.
Arguably, it's not even arguably. It is definitively the worst thing Disney's ever done.
You're kidding.
Do I look like I'm kidding?
A little. I'm not.
I'm not.
It is so... I got no words for this movie. It is the level of incompetence with the acting, the costume design, the set design, the production value, the visual effects, the story, the directing. It's just...
The lack of faithful adaptation. It doesn't care about the source material at all.
And it turned out one of the most irritating child performances I've ever witnessed with Charles Wallace.
Charles Wallace.
Sure, maybe give him a little leniency because he's a kid, but I'm like, well, just don't cast him because he's just
Kid
not a good
actors
actor.
can be good.
Yes.
I don't understand why there's this stigma that all child actors are like, oh, okay, he was bad, but he's a kid, so it's like it doesn't matter. There are really great child actors.
Have people not seen Stand By Me, The Goonies? Like, they're good.
E.T.
E.T. It. Like, they were amazing actors. No, I'm not giving it a pass for that. God, I thought it was a jar, and we were bored within the first 10 minutes, and we were like, and no one cared. The entire time was talking, literally talking, having conversations while this thing was playing out.
I was watching this with my friend, and we were laughing our asses off.
I was just bored.
In the parts where they were on Earth.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man, can't wait for it to get to the other planets, because it's got to get even worse. Surely it's got to get worse. But that's where it got boring.
In a fantasy movie about exploring different worlds, how are the different worlds less interesting than Earth?
Yeah, right? It's astounding.
Yeah. Number 2.
That.
Okay.
Yeah, so
No point
that's my take as well. I have the exact same thoughts as you. I think I might have found it a bit more funny, but you know, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. What's your number 2?
My number 2, oh my god, I can't believe I sat through this entire bloody series. The last... yeah, exactly.
Oh, you don't get it! It's masterful!
The Last Sharknado.
Sharknado's great.
And the movie is actually called The Last Sharknado. It's about time. So they even know that it's about time this finishes. This movie, oh god, I can't believe what I was watching.
No, you don't understand it. You're watching it wrong, Robbie.
I'm not.
Dragon sharks?
Good luck with that. Bye!
Like that, there's time travel in this movie. they have to travel 88 miles per hour. I'm like, oh my god, that's the biggest slap in the face of Back to the Future.
Back to the Future reference. Everyone clap.
Oh my god. It starts from prehistoric times and there's like dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, that piqued my interest. I admit it piqued my interest. And then the movie happened and I was like, well, cool. It made me angry watching it. I was like, how? I know they're meant to be bad, but there's a way of doing it. God, like at least make it, like, try.
The best films that are so bad it's good are the ones where they actually had passion towards it and put effort into it.
When I got the fifth one, I was like, it can't get worse than this, and God, how wrong I was. The sixth one it capitalized on all 5 movies and just took a dump on all of it. I was like, yeah.
Sounds like he loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's the last one. It's about time.
The hell was that?
Maybe that's how sharks evolved over the last 20,000 years. Can't wait to see what the humans look like.
It's Planet of the Apes.
Number
one.
Our crappiest movie of the year.
Yeah, man. This is a film that, from what I saw, not a lot of people actually watched it, but the ones that did just absolutely despised it.
Oh, I know what this is. I never saw it, but... Yeah.
I didn't finish it. I honestly didn't finish it because it was just the worst thing I've seen all of last year. And that was The Open House. The Open House, man. I don't know what to say. It is everything wrong with horror. It is easily the worst horror film I've seen in the last decade. It's got horrible performances, terrible editing that just ended up being funny once again. The mum was bad, the main dude was bad, he was in 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the most bland, generic things I've ever seen, and I was just so appalled. I was appalled that I was wasting my time on it, so I turned it off. The only redeeming grace about the film is that it was released straight to Netflix, but even then, by watching it, I'm allowing it to profit.
Yeah.
So, I hated it. Honestly, there's nothing good about it. And The Open House is the worst film of the year, in my books. I know what your number one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number one, I wasn't looking forward to seeing it, but I thought, if it's just stupid fun, it will be entertaining. Oh God, how wrong I was. So I love the first Deep Blue Sea. It is cheesy 90s thriller.
It's got the stamps all over it.
It knows what it is. You got Sam Jackson in there. You got Thomas Jane fighting, super smart sharks. It's a lot of fun. It's got a great shark theme. And then when they announced Deep Blue Sea 2, I was like, okay, really? But we'll see what happens. It could go down the Jaws 2 route where it's bad, but it's still quite enjoyable because of just how cheesy it is. This is, for me, the worst film I have ever seen. It crowns everything. I have never wanted to switch off a movie more in my life.
Man, but I hate shark movies.
But I didn't. I know, right? Like, shark movies are like one of my favorite genres, and 2 of them top my list for the year. Yeah, I've never turned off a movie yet, and I'm trying to stick to that. Deep Blue Sea really put me to the test.
I think why waste your time if the movie is just bad and you can tell that it's not going to get any better.
I just had to see how much worse it got, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, that's fair. I guess it's just different philosophies.
And the number of times I grabbed the remote and almost pressed the stop button was like at least a dozen times. Like, even though the last Sharknado technically is a worse made film, it knows it's a bad film. Deep Blue Sea 2 was trying to be good. It thought it was a good film. So for that reason, is why it is worse than the last Sharknado. It is so horribly made. They use the same 2 corridors over and over and over. The only thing they change is the lighting. It goes from either full red to full green or full blue, and that's the difference in like different aspects of the compound. There is this stupid baby shark storyline where there's these baby sharks that come. You hardly ever see them. The visual effect of the baby sharks is bubbles on the surface, and that's the threat in the film. But the worst of all of it is there's this Terminator 2 Judgment Day subplot where, like, the first one was stretching reality, it was ridiculous, but
yeah, it was never trying to be grounded.
You bought into it, you know. This one, it's this crazy guy with some notion that AI is going to take over the planet, and so he wants to improve. He's testing on bull sharks this time, not mako sharks, bull sharks, to create a serum that will make humans smarter. So when the AI uprising comes, we can fight the machines. Where have I seen that subplot before? It is just from beginning to end, frame by frame. It is the worst thing I've ever seen.
There you go. Wow. Sounds like 2018 was a great year for film, wasn't it?
Gave me my worst film of all time. So those are our worst films of the year. A good year.
Man, what a shit show.
Yeah.
The highs were really high, but the lows were so low.
Yeah, they really were.
So low.
Because I remember the year before, I struggled to make a top 10 worst list.
Yeah, genuinely, 2017 was a great year for film. Probably the best since I've been alive, in my opinion. But yeah, 2018, not the best. Hopefully 2019 really ramps it up.
I mean, it's looking hopeful, because there's a lot of great movies that should be great.
Yeah.
Great talent, great
directors.
directors.
A lot of great indie flicks that I'm looking forward to. But we'll have to see.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, guys, those were our worst films of 2018.
And my worst film of all time.
Yeah, Jesus. It was a bit of a rough one, but at least soon we'll be able to talk about our best films of the year, the highs that were really great, and that'll be coming very soon. Until then, we'll see you at the movies.